I was in World War II. Pearl Harbor had just recently happened, where the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, December 7, 1941. And I left high school. After 1 year of high school, I left high school and I enlisted in the Navy. When I talk to people, I give them my opinion. I never give advice, always my opinion. And it's my opinion, and I've talked to groups before, that part of suicide is PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and TBI, traumatic brain injury. I have both of those, and with the Veterans Administration, I am 100% PTSD and 100% TBI. And when I call the VA, they always ask your name and they ask for your last 4 Social Security numbers to identify you. Well, about 2 years ago, when I gave my last 4, there must be something that comes up on their screen. Because now, the first thing they say, have you thought of injuring yourself, or have you ever thought of suicide? And of course, I say no. And if anybody had been thinking, they'd still say no. I have depression and anxiety, I go on, and I've got all that. But you learn to handle it. I've learned that if it's going to be, it's up to me. You've got to do it yourself. I go to various vet centers, and I've talked to different people. I belong to a vet center now, and in order to be a group, there started out about 10 of us, and we're down to about 3 or 4. They passed away. But in order to be in that group, you had to be World War II, you had to be in combat, you had to be wounded, so that when we talk to each other, we understand. And that's very important. Yeah. And that's why I like to talk to people, because I've been there, done that. So I know how they feel. I know where they're coming from. Yeah. Well, part of my PTSD is that I had to have a sense of accomplishment. That's what I talk to people about. They have to have the purpose. There you go. I thought of it. You have to have a purpose. You really do. You wake up every morning with a purpose. I've done that all of my life. And I've been so blessed. And because I think of my PTSD, there are so many things I have done, and I've been to, I've gotten into flying. Dennis and I are good buddies on flying. I've done sailing. I've sailed all around the world. I've sailed the equal 3 times around the world. I've sailed the Atlantic. I've sailed the Pacific. I've been to a lot of yacht races. I've sailed every boat, kind of from a sloop to a ketch to a yawl to a schooner. I've sailed them all. And I say, you have to have a purpose. And I have had a purpose. And I've gotten into sketching. I love to sketch. And I teach myself all of this. I've been to the horses. I've been into cycling. I used to climb on a bike and ride centuries. I'd climb on a bike and ride 100 miles. Always doing something.
So this was your therapy, I think.
To me it is.
Yeah, it worked for you.
And you've got to do it.
And that was your
well, if
therapy.
you have nothing to do, you get in trouble. You've got to do it. That's why when I finished my marathon, I had a purpose. I had to finish. I went through my pain. I finished because there was an accomplishment. I felt so good. Of course, the next day I got out of bed, took 1 step and fell on my face. But I did it and I finished.
Well, there again.
Well, I still have nightmares.
Yeah.
And it's been just last week, after we met last Saturday, I had a nightmare. And of course, when I finished my pillows, I have to look for bedspreads, clothing, bedspreads, all over the place. I hit my headboard, come up with black and blues, and I had a nightmare, and I can't go back to sleep. So I get up and I go in the living room and I sit in my
chair, recliner.
recliner. I sit in my recliner because I can't sleep.
Yeah.
So when sunlight comes around, daylight comes around, I get up, I've had breakfast and different things. So that afternoon, because I was so tired, I decided to take a nap. And I'll be darned, during my nap, I had another nightmare. And it comes and goes. And you've got to learn to handle it.